During the workshop, partner consultants will do show and tell for the related business processes to show the customer business users how the processes run in the system. The team uses the starter system that was provisioned in the prepare phase. Consultants should also evaluate the necessary adjustment to the sample data provided in the customer starter system prior to running the workshop. For example, adjusting the organization names and master data to make the data applicable to the organization, in this case, Akem Water, and to the users that will attend the Fit to Standard workshops. The completed BDCQ, completed by Akem Water, will have been reviewed by the implementation team. Level 2 of the BDCQ has been reviewed by the implementation team to understand Akem Water current business processes and any integration where applicable. In this case, we are providing show and tell for J58, accounting and financial close, where Akem Water key business users and financial business process expert Amelia and Fia are interested to see how the system will function and how closely it will support their needs. The demo gives the customer and the project team an idea of how the system functions in various business scenarios. It gives the implementation team the opportunity also ask questions that help them confirm the needed configuration and potential functional gaps. For overview of their steps, Fit to Standard workshop follows.
Emilia, Fear, and Peter, I'm going to do a show and tell this afternoon of scope item J58, accounting and financial close. And this is one of the largest scope items, so it will take some time. And it is important that you understand how the system functions. So please ask me to repeat any processes, steps as required. It is imperative that we confirm the configuration needs for Acme Water today. I have reviewed the L2 of the BDCQ that you completed in details. So thank you for completing it so roughly. And we move through this show and tell, and there's some configurations that needs to be confirmed and captured in the L3 of the BDCQ by Carl. So Carl, please jump in if you have anything that needs to be clarified.
Yeah, sure, Betty. Thank you. I have the best understanding of the required functions for accounting and financial close, and I should be able to answer any outstanding configuration requirements along with Betty and Peter, and we may need to get some clarification from our CFO. So is that okay for you guys?
Yeah. But we need to have everything signed off and clarified by the end of these workshops. So yeah.
Yeah, just to add, like Betty said, it's important that there are no configuration decisions outstanding by the end of the Fit to Standard workshops. So we need to have them all of the requirements documented so we can close the explore phase at that stage. Okay.
Yeah, okay. So now I will start the demo for today. So we have been talking about the processes about the J58, and today, this time, we will show you the manage journal entries with the reverse function. So using these manage journal entries, you can have a list of all the journal entries that you've posted. In case there will be some node postings like this time, I found that, oh, I have a wrong date posted. You can either navigate to the details page to reverse one document, or you can select a multi of them and you can reverse here. For this one, I choose a wrong date, so I would like to choose another, and I would like to reverse it. I choose the reason for wrong postings and posting date for tomorrow.
Sorry, Betty, to interrupt.
Yeah.
I just want to know if it's possible to extend the standard reason codes by adding more codes.
Yes, you can. You can extend the written code, and you will need to provide us then with the descriptions, the settings that you need. For example, like many of the customers, you want to have the negative postings so that you can provide such settings for us. And also sometimes you might have the alternative posting date activation. So yes, they are allowed.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. You're welcome. And then you might notice like the document type are the same because by default, the reverse document type are the same as the original. Yeah. And do you have any questions regarding the journal entry type here, the reverse document type?
Yes, I have one question here that for some of our specific business processes, it requires reverse documents to be posted with a different document type than the original document type. So
Yeah.
how can we make amendments to reverse documents type?
Okay, yeah, actually, yeah, all those are purely supported within S4HANA S4HANA Cloud. And you can see here, this is the way that you will configure your solutions. We can use the manage your solutions and then open it, and then you can find the configuration actually under the finance area. So let me just quickly show you how those has been configured in our system. And here you can see this place called define document type. And here within this SSUI, you can change the reverse document type. For the ones that we use, it's called SA, the ones that we normally use. And here you see, since it's empty, so it just use original. So if you want to change it, just type in any type that you want to use and it will change. So they are supported. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so the show and tell has been completed. The team will now discuss how the system meets or can meet the specific requirements from Akem Water. This is an opportunity for the customer team to discuss their specific business requirements. It is imperative that the implementation team has a good understanding of the requirements from Akem Water, end-to-end description of the required processes, and functionality should be discussed. Key for the implementation team: understand the requirements end to end.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back. Hope you have a nice coffee. And we want to open the door now for discussion around the Acme Water business requirements for accounting and financial close. We want to make sure that we have explained any questions you might have about the functionality and capture specific requirements.
Betty, just to confirm here, I noticed earlier some gaps in functionality compared to the ERP system we are running, and also an end-to-end scenario that Amelia and I discussed last night. So how do we resolve those gaps?
Yeah, I'll take that, Betty. Thanks, Fia. That's a great question. I suppose the first thing to say would be that S4HANA Cloud is not a direct replacement for your existing on-premise ERP. It's intentionally designed that it's meant to be slimmer, simpler, with slimmer functionality, if you like. So this allows us to implement it quicker, and it allows more intuitive understanding by the end users, and it helps with the automation as well. So it's really to note that here we're going to focus on the essential business requirements. And should we come across requirements which cannot be addressed in S4HANA Cloud with ease, we shall note them as Delta requirements. Delta requirements will be prioritized during our next meeting and can be closed via configuration, adoption of future enhancements or extensions, but we will discuss and document this.
Okay, thanks for that, Carl.
Okay, so let's get started. Fair, you mentioned at the end of yesterday that you want to discuss the intercompany posting, right?
Yes, Betty. So I wanted to understand how the intercompany posting will work with S/4HANA Cloud.
Oh, this is actually a massive topic, but we can start looking at the SSUI, which is called automatic account determination. And there we can set up the account assignment to prepare the intercompany transactions. Actually, it's between two or multi different company codes. And for us, as we have determined with Maria, your companies will get the best business value from S/4HANA Cloud, but with a phased implementation. So that means the one company code at the time and in the staged waves. So right now we are only at the first wave now. So we might and we should address the intercompany postings in the second wave. And when we add a second and then the third company code. Yeah, hope that explains. Yeah.
Yes. Also, what about the workflow for the PO accruals? So, if for example, if there is it is over a certain threshold, then is it possible to have additional approval steps in such scenarios?
Yes, of course. We can do this using a configuration called the defined threshold variance. And actually, the purchase order accruals is covered in the scope item 2VB. It's not J58. But generally speaking, we will need to look at the SSUI, I call it the defined threshold variance. And there you can define a lower threshold and an upper threshold for accrued amounts. For any accrued document, the amount below the threshold, the lower threshold, they will be ignored and they won't be posted. And then any accrued amount between will be automatically posted, and any accrued amount above the threshold, the upper threshold that you set, they will be only posted after the approval. So we will later send you a link for the blog post so that you can have a general feeling how it works. Yeah.
So thanks, Betty. Basically, what happens in Poland, Acme Water deals with different banks and they require different formats like MT942, XML, MT940, etc. How can the different file formats can be handled by different banks based on a country?
Yeah, so again, that's not directly J58 related.
Okay.
SAP S/4HANA Cloud uses multi-bank connectivity. This requires additional licenses. That's the easiest way that we would recommend to do that. So we may need to check with your business transformation manager, Maria, just to see on the licensing. But again, when we're reviewing that, it would be a separate workshop to gather the requirements and to set it all up.
Okay, got it. So since you raised about the workshops, are we discussing on existing integration requirements or any innovations in this fit to standard workshop?
Yeah, absolutely. There are other fit to standard workshops scheduled for the different LOB stakeholders. And we also have one obviously for integration to discuss the existing integrations that you have. The calendar for this has already been shared with Maria, so you can check with Maria to make sure that your concerns are being brought forward to that workshop. And then obviously any innovations will be taken as a separate track, as it's not part of the defined implementation scope. But we're more than happy to involve you in the innovation ideas, or to be involved in any future innovation for Acme Water.
Thank you, Carl. Got it.
Thank you.
Fia, I wanted to ask, do you think that this is the time we should talk about if the new SAP system will be able to handle the way that we issue our invoices for the service contracts with regard to the upfront yearly maintenance, and especially sometimes since we have to make some manual adjustments, is now the time to ask that question, do you think?
Yes, thanks for bringing that up, Emilia. So, Betty, this is for you. As you know that we sell water coolers and water drums to a variety of offices, and therefore we have service contracts to our customers that include a 20 euro monthly maintenance fee for the year, which is payable upfront. So we want to have an automatic approval posting for these accounts for our 20 euro maintenance fees each month as revenue. And we need flexibility around terminations, and even possibly we are floating the idea of a discount for upfront payments. So we may need to make adjustment here for different customers. So I'm not sure whether this product is capable of doing this adjustment, since we have been told since starting that uh, we must stick very closely to the standard offering that S4HANA Cloud provides.
Thanks, Emilia and Fia. Thank you so much. And I understand the requirements now. It's about the deferral, the revenue, and I will look into this. I'm pretty sure it's on the roadmap, but I will confirm it before the next meeting, and then I will say it to you. Okay.
Meanwhile, I think as we are all discussing about the accounting and financial close scope item, I had a question basically around the upgrade timelines. So we got to know that SAP S4HANA Cloud systems are upgraded periodically, and we have some specific dates for the downtime. So what I was really interested was to know if the downtime dates of the systems, do they really collide with any kind of financial closing period which we have in our ACME landscape? So I just wanted to get some clarity on that.
Yeah, absolutely. So SAP have documented all of the downtimes for the release upgrades that happen a number of times during the year. So we can show you where to find those for going forward, but we'll send that through, absolutely. One thing to note is that the way the upgrade happens at the beginning of the month, which is obviously where you're going to be concerned for the closing of the previous month, that's when the test system would be upgraded. So that wouldn't directly influence your production. The production system is then upgraded 2 weeks later. So you have these 2 weeks to make sure that there are no issues to complete your financial close, which again should be easier with the increased use of automation through the S4HANA Cloud solution, and then to test all of the innovations and make sure that they don't cause any issues with the regression when the system is updated. But again, we'll send all that information through and show you where that is on the SAP Help portal.
Yeah, thanks. That's a great relief to know. It won't impact the production timelines. Thanks.
I actually had a question because our company, Acme Water, spent a great deal of money with a marketing company. And obviously, we have these specific logos that we're required to use professionally. We have them on any documentation that we have are specifically our checks. And part of my role, I actually have a printer set up right at my desk and a box of checks that I have to go through each month and print out specifically. And I'm just wondering, does SAP, will this product allow us to use our logos and all this, marketing content that we have on these really important documents that we use pretty regularly?
Yep. Again, I'll take that one, Betty. The check printing and the invoice printing and all of that would fall under the output management for the different LOBs. And obviously there are, while your checks are one part of it, there are obviously other output that also needs to be gathered together. So what we've done is to set up, similar to the integration workshops that we'll have, we're going to have an output management fit to standard workshop, where we'll go through all of the requirements to make sure that that your custom logos and layouts and everything that your suppliers are used to accommodating, and that your customers are used to seeing, to make sure all of that is accommodated, and to make sure that the printer beside your desk will still be able to work with a cloud solution. And we'll include all of the IT people in that, and make sure that everything is all gathered together and thought through in one fashion.
Okay, great. Thanks, Carl.
So you get the idea. Foster discussion and make sure customer business requirements are crystal clear. The backlog is a critical tool for documentation by the project team. Delta requirements needs to be identified, documented, prioritized as per the guidelines provided within the backlog accelerator. Let's see an example of documenting Delta requirements at Acheam Water.
Okay, so we are looking at confirming the Delta requirements for accounting and financial close. As this is the first round of working through this, I'll just kick off. I understand from Betty and Carl that we have identified some Delta requirements and we want to clearly document and prioritize these at this point. We will be using Moscow. This means that we will prioritize them with M being must-haves. These are the most critical things that we must have. Should have, these are things that we should have. If not possible, we should be able to have a workaround or something in place to ensure it's still available. Could haves will be lower on the end, and things that we could have but are not go live critical or not really essential for the project. And then we also have finally the would haves, which would be nice. We could see it as that. So essentially, these will be the least critical and the least important, and we could go live without them. The requirements to go live critical will be the must-haves. Maria, as we have already discussed, the priorities that are go live critical need to be clarified with Acheam Water stakeholders, so we have no surprises once we move out of the explore phase.
Thanks, Paul. So you and I discussed the resolution of business requirements and those categorized as Delta requirements and how we find solutions. So, but the thing is, my team would like to understand exactly how they will work.
Yes, thanks, Maria. Delta requirements for Acheam Water will be worked through and resolved via 1. Configuration, 2. Adoption of the future enhancements as per S/4HANA Cloud Roadmap, and 3. Extensibility.
Okay, Bruce.
Okay, so thanks for that, Paul. Let's begin. So firstly, as you can see, I have documented in the backlog the requirement around revenue accruals for your water cooler service contracts. So I'm sharing the backlog template here. So can you confirm the priority on this?
Yes, this is go live critical. So this is a must-have, Carl.
Perfect. Okay, thank you very much, Maria. So I've documented that.
Yes, okay, so this is Betty, and I have walked through this and have already utilized some of the excellent SAP Future Roadmap documentations. And I've confirmed that this functionality will be available in the next release. So yeah, that's it.
That's great news. That's super helpful for us. Do we have access, Betty, to the future roadmap? Is that available for us to look at as well?
Yes, definitely. We will show you the link and everyone can access and to check the future backlogs and upcoming release and innovations. Yeah.
And you'll be able to give us a demo of this new functionality as well?
Yes, we will sure do that later on.
Okay. Okay, great. That sounds great.
Thank you.
The project team will then work through step 5 to clarify and confirm critical configuration discussions. In step 6, where the implementation team business process expert, Betty, will enable Thea and Amelia to execute the standard scenarios on the starter system. This process should then be repeated for all business scenarios. And that, folks, should give you a good idea how to conduct Fit to Standard remotely. Good luck!